I can talk easily with people that I totally would never feel comfortable around in America. Good morning from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Hi, my name is Jesse, and thank you for tuning into my channel. Appreciate it. I'm on the campus of Chiang Mai University, which is the best university in this part of the country. It's famous for healthcare and medicine. Anyway, when I got to the university for my walk, I was thinking about my teaching and this proposition that I always ask my students. True or false? If you want to learn about your own culture, go abroad. Not the other culture, but your own culture. I think it's well, I ask it because I think it's true. And I know that from experience. You know, I'm American. I grew up understanding my culture, but it's not until you leave the country and live in another culture that you really find the fine points of the differences. You find out more about yourself when you compare it to what you see and what you experience in the country that you are presently living. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. And in my writing classes or in my English language classes, I always use this topic, and I have them read out of a textbook that will be familiar to ESL teachers in American universities. It's called excuse me. Wait for the cars to go by. Any more? It's called American Ways, an introduction to American culture. And in it, the chapter I use is, basically the introduction to American culture. And it's talking about 6 basic values in American society. I'm pausing for dramatic effect and also to give you a moment to try to think what those 6 values might be. I'm sure you've got at least 1 or 2 in your mind. Well, here goes. Number 1, freedom, individual freedom. Number 2, equality, specifically equality of opportunity. Number 3, material wealth. Money, 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 money. Number 4, hard work. Number 5, competition. And number 6, self-reliance. What do you think? And then I put my students into groups and eventually have them write about it, what the most important values are from their country. And whether I'm teaching in America or teaching in China, most of my students tend to be Chinese. And their list, totally different than the 6 basic values of America. So I'm wondering where the students are. It's January 5th, Monday. I don't know if today is a holiday or if they're just off in between semesters. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the topic of the day. So from my Chinese students, I usually get answers like respecting your elders, filial piety, or collectivism, love of country. I get harmony and stability, things like that. And if you put the two lists side by side, you'll see that they're diametrically different in so many ways, especially the collectivism and the for the country part, as opposed to the individualism and the self-reliance. Okay, so this is all part of a broader discussion on, like I said, my original topic, which is if you want to learn about your own culture, live abroad. Let me get into this park area across the street. Seems to be a quiet area. Okay, the bigger picture. Differences between your culture and the culture you are in. So I talk about conflict, things that are difficult to kind of organize and accept in your mind. And I model to the students about my life, my experience. I do a mind map. And in this mind map, which I'll show you, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You can read it for yourself. But I put down challenging things for me in China. And I put down things like it's a collectivist society. I'm always an outsider. And missing friends, of course, and things like that. And under the heading of everyone is watching, this is where I really point out my discomfort with having a surveillance society. In America, of course, privacy and personal freedom and government off my back is such an important part of my culture, my upbringing. I've been inculcated with this idea since birth, and especially with my parents, who are very big, God rest their soul, are very big into being private. Yeah, so under that heading, I have this part, my own personal police woman. And then I tell the story in Wuhan. Every foreigner has to check in. Every foreigner has to kind of register their address with the police, the special police department that specializes in watching foreigners. And, every, once a year, twice a year, I will get a call from my policewoman. Hi, this is Jing. Are you home now? And, if I'm home, I say yes. And if I'm not, I say no, but I can be. And she said, can we come over? And they do. And they're very polite, very friendly. They just, periodically check up. At that point, you show that you have the right documents, that you're living in the place that you're supposed to be living, and show your passport. They look around for a moment. I guess, I don't know what they're looking for. Are they looking for drugs? Are they looking for that you are taking in other foreigners that shouldn't be there? Anyway, I tell that story. A lot of my students are like really shocked, because they don't go through that in China, and they certainly don't go through that when they come to America. Anyway, I tell stories about everything on this mind map to model what I want them to think about. And then it's all leading up to the eventual major essay, which is to describe a conflict in values that is difficult for you to handle here in America. Anyway, it's always a good assignment. I get a lot of good topics. For me, though, if I had to write about it, I might write about that, the personal privacy, but I also might write about that I feel comfortable around Americans. So many expats, their friends are from the same culture, often the same country. Hold on, let me let someone pass. But specifically, what I have found over the years is, even though I've had friends from, basic similar Western culture, it's just so much more comfortable. The cues, the non-verbal, don't have to speak them cues with people from your own country comes so naturally. It's more than, you can just talk about politics or sports or, I'm from San Francisco, with a kind of familiarity that you can't always get with other people who haven't been to your country. It's more of, I know I'm American. I can talk easily with people that I totally would never feel comfortable around in America. I'm a city guy, so if there's a country guy, or I have a certain set of politics, if there's somebody diametrically opposed, all kinds of things. But the bottom line is that when you are American in another country, all those differences kind of fade away and disappear, because nobody's talking about it. But there is this Americanness, or this own cultureness. And that's why, even though I encourage all my students, don't just hang out with people from your own country. Totally understand. I mean, there's just an absolute comfort level. And you really know, even if you don't really dissect it and analyze it, you know that you are different culturally than people from other countries and cultures. It doesn't make it right or wrong. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying it's just our nature. One more thing before I continue my walk on the campus. In that book, American Ways, there's a survey, and it says, it talks about a survey, and it says that Americans were asked, what is the number one thing you are proud of? While I might answer Steph Curry, I understand what the answer was. Over 90% of Americans surveyed said freedom, for what it's worth. But actually, it's worth a lot. It is just really deeply inculcated into who we are. Whether we actually have the freedom, it's another question, but that's the answer. And I really think a lot of people wouldn't say that from other countries, especially collectivist countries like a lot of the Asian countries. So it's a really interesting question beyond what seems to be a simple and guessable answer. And with that, I'm going to end this video. I really want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please press the like button. If you have a comment, drop one below. And finally, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Till next time, catch you later. Bye.